I will give a short overview of the setup, what you have to do in order to submit your code for this course. So we basically need free software or free applications to do the work. The first one is Python. So Python is the programming language, but it's also the application which executes your code or interprets your code. And this we can download from python.org. Here you can see the web page. And for the Windows, you can just download Python. There's a button here. If you have Linux or Mac, then you also can get Python here or some other operating systems. Usually with Linux, you already have Python. You have to check out what's the version of your Python. It can happen that it's 2.7, which is quite old. So then you have to install the new version. I recommend you to take the latest stable version because we use a lot of functionality from the newer versions. So it might happen if you have too old version of Python, then you cannot use some specific operators or specific functions and so on. And if you install the Python, I cannot show you here because I've already done it, but during the installation process, it allows you to choose the location for your installation. By default, it's in Windows, it's under your user folder, some app data and so on. I personally have chosen to install it right onto my drive. So it's C drive and then the folder Python. So it's easy to remember where it is and I can access it quickly. So for example, later on, if we are setting up PyCharm, then there you can also set up the, if you are setting up PyCharm where you write code, then there you can set up where your Python is, and it's easier to find it directly from your local drive than you kind of remembering where you installed it. So, and for that I recommend you to install it also in a place or at least somewhere where you remember where it is. Besides that, I don't remember there were any specific configurations you had to done, just regular default settings are fine here. Then the next software you need is Git, and Git is basically the platform, or it's more like technology to kind of store code or store files. And for that we need Git software. And in our course, we also use Git to submit your code. This is what developers normally do. If you are working somewhere, you already know that Git is de facto standard, so everyone uses it. And we have set up our course also in a way that you submit your code or you commit your code into Git, and then we test it here, or then we can access it from Git and so on. And here is the link to get Git for Windows. If you are using Mac or Linux, it can happen that you already have Git. That's quite normal. If not, then you can just Google how to install Git, I don't know, into Mac or into Linux. If you install Git, then during the process there were some questions. Most of them you can just let the default value be chosen by the installer. If you want to set up something differently, then you can check out from Google, for example, what one or another option does. I don't remember there were any specific things you should change. For example, you can choose which Git bash or like what kind of console to use, and all the default values are fine. So I recommend you to just carry on with the default values, and you can start using Git. And the third one is PyCharm, which is a software development software basically. So it's the program where you can write code, and it gives you some nice pointers and helps you in certain cases and so on. Even though I recommend you to use PyCharm, and we have in our videos, we everywhere use PyCharm, there is no problem to use your own software. So if you have already started using something, you can carry on. For example, even Notepad in Windows or Vim in some Linux or similar operating system is fine. And to get PyCharm, there is a JetBrains link here. So JetBrains is a company who produces or has developed this software, and you can download it here. If you download it here, you have basically two versions or two versions of it. One is professional and the other is free, or the community edition. If you download it and use it for your own, you can use this community edition, and it's free, and you can basically do most of the things there. But you access some additional functionality. We are using professional version, and in order to get this professional version, it is free for students. You just have to apply for a license, and then you can use the professional version. And here is the link. And if you apply, then you can fill in the form. And if here you have to use your Taltech account. By using Taltech account, the system automatically knows that we have agreement with them, so you don't have to provide any additional material to kind of prove that you are a student. So just use your Taltech email account here, and you get the license for 1 year. And after this 1 year, you can kind of get additional 1 year if you are still a student. So it's easy way. Then, I mean, after 1 year, you just probably, the applying is easier. You just state that, yeah, I am still a student, then they send you some code to your email. If you still can access your email, then they know that you are a student. So yes, I recommend you to do that, although you can do most, or actually you can finish the whole course without this professional version. But in some cases, there are some nice things it provides you. And as mentioned, you can use some other software if you like. For example, Visual Studio Code is okay, and so on. So there are different other software to be used. And but yeah, in this course, all the examples are done for PyCharm. And as the process or the problems during the installation can be different, I recommend you ask right away in Discord, for example, and we can see what can be done in this situation. Also, some other students maybe have tackled this problem already, and then they can give you pointers what they did and how they solved this problem. So it's especially, for example, people with Mac, they can have strange problems sometimes, but often other people have also seen those problems and they can help out, or our teachers can help out. So if you have any problems, just ask in Discord and we find a solution.